25 things I think Neverwinter should add to the game. Roll it. Welcome back. Before we get into the topic at hand and the reason why you all clicked on this video in the first place, I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of you. I reached 7,000 subscribers a few days ago and I'm extremely grateful and hyped. You all motivate me to continue creating and providing content. I know 7,000 subscribers isn't a lot compared to some other Neverwinter YouTubers. I mean, even for the YouTube platform itself, my channel is just like a fart in the wind.
I don't fart, okay? I whisper in my underwear.
Sometimes it just happens to be a scream. But I do my best to be different and provide content with my own personal flavor and spin. And I'm so happy you all appreciate the effort I put into my videos. I even appreciate the dislikers, even though sometimes my tallest finger wants to give them a standing ovation.
How would you like to suck my
Furthermore, I'm also considering creating a second YouTube channel for different types of content. Don't ask me what type of content because I don't even know the answer to that yet. It could even be outside the realm of the gaming genre altogether. But I do feel like I have potential, and if you are not growing, you are definitely getting smaller.
That's what she said.
That's my joke. Damn it, Dwight.
But I will let you all know when I know. I used to think I was indecisive, but now I'm not so sure. So that is all I have to say about that. Okay, enough of that. Let's get into our video and the 25 things I think Neverwinter should add to the game. Keep in mind this is my opinion, and you are definitely not required to agree with me. But in all fairness, if you don't agree with me, then you are as useful as a screen door in a submarine. We really need a better alternative or better way to know which companion or mount powers belong to which companion or mount. Quality of life improvement that would make doing that much easier would be having the name of the companion that a companion buff goes to be in the pop-up window when you are hovering over your equip power. The same quality of life improvement can also be applied to mounts, like going to your stable and hovering over a mount and seeing which passive or active power it provides. That would make it much easier for players to know what mount to upgrade for maximum effect, like which mount has tunnel vision, for example. That way we won't need to tab out and Google it. You know, find outside sources for a simple thing that should be available in-game to begin with. You better fucking do it.
Or I'm gonna summon the dark forces to consume your peepees.
2. We need an in-game store and a new type of in-game currency that we can accumulate and work towards gathering, so we can be able to purchase greater shards of empowerment. You know what shards I'm talking about. Here, let me remind you. These shards of empowerment. They are ridiculously expensive. They are sitting usually around 160 to 190,000 astral diamonds on average. One shard on its own is not that expensive. What makes them expensive is that you need hundreds of them. The system of an alternative way to get certain items already exists in game, like Tower of the Mad Mage and Zerial, for example, where for every completion you receive a scroll or currency item that you can gather, so that you can purchase a gear or weapon piece. So if by any chance you're extremely unlucky, like I know most of you are, and that piece you are after doesn't drop from RNG even though you have prayed to every god that exists, then at least you have earned something for your effort that you can at some point use to buy what you need. You know, exchange it for your gear. Effort should be rewarded, and players should feel like they are not doing something for nothing. Give people a goal, and they will try and achieve it. This idea would help players to not get so discouraged and give up on even trying to get the shards they need to upgrade their collars. And as it stands, collars are extremely expensive to upgrade. But if it takes 1 year to upgrade just one collar due to poor shard drop rates and the sheer amount you need to gather, then...
Well, smack my ass and call me Judy.
3. They should let us decide what loot our character can pick up when running around killing stuff. You know, that random loot we walk over that fills up our inventory with nonsense 99% of the time. So they should add a way that we can opt in or out of picking up certain loot. They could add some sort of tab, just like the currency tab that we already have, and instead in that tab have all the types of loot that can drop. For example, gold, enchantments, and green gear. And in that tab, we can click on which loot our character is allowed to pick up. Literally checkmarking what we want and not checkmarking what we don't want. 4. Unbinding scrolls. Yeah, you heard me correctly. We need unbinding scrolls. They can be scrolls we can purchase from the Zen store, the Wondrous Bazaar, or even NPCs. The reason for these unbinding scrolls is pretty obvious. We need a way to unbind character-bound items and transform them into account-bound. Obviously, these scrolls wouldn't unbind them completely, making it sellable, That's just crazy talk.
I will crawl inside you and lay eggs like a baby spider!
But the addition of unbinding scrolls would allow us to equip our alternate characters with much needed gear or items that are just sitting in our inventory or bank gathering cobwebs. Personally, I think it's a great idea, so maybe you should get to it.
Just do it!
5. Add an alternative way to get items in-game besides RNG. Don't get me wrong, I'm a firm believer that anything you get should be earned and not handed to you. It shouldn't be a walk in the park. Part of what makes players feel good is the sense of achievement, that they worked hard for what they have accomplished, and in turn that makes them proud of their characters and their progression. But in this case, adding a system where players can earn items through a set amount of requirements would give more incentive for people to play. For example, we already have a collections page with almost all the gear and items in said pages. So how about next to each item add a requirement that looks like this: 0 out of 50 or 0 out of 100, for example. If that specific gear piece you are after comes from Vault of Stars, then every time you complete one, your number changes from 0 to 50 to 1 to 50, or from 0 to 100 to 1 to 100. Once you have completed 50 or 100 of them, then that item unlocks just by clicking it in the collections page and drops straight into your inventory. Obviously, only one item at a time can be purchased, or if that is too complicated, add scrolls like Tower of the Mad Mage that can drop from dungeons that you can accumulate, and then buy the gear you need from vendors by trading them. So basically, you would still keep the RNG aspect of the game in dungeons, but give an alternate method to get those items in case RNG is being a fucking asshole. And it is usually being an asshole.
Why does it make her an asshole? That's why.
6. Add an invoke all button. I know, to some of you new players that sounds weird.
Not as weird as a pair of instant undies because you never know when you're going to need them in an emergency.
But believe me, it isn't weird. If you have 10, 20, 30, or even 50 alternate characters to invoke on, then invoking becomes less of a quick fun thing you need to do and more of a holy fuck I'm going to get my toenails pierced this Friday kind of thing. Because you can invoke multiple times a day on each of your characters so you can gather celestial coins, which in turn help you buy celestial coffers, which in turn have a chance to give you preservation words or coalescent words. RNG related again, no surprise here.
Surprise, motherfucker!
So maybe add a button that we can press in game that invokes instantly on all your characters.
No! That's the button that will kill everyone!
So you don't waste hours every day just to invoke. Personally, I think that would be an awesome thing to have. But if we are all being completely honest, yeah, no, never gonna happen. 7. Add rewards to the collections page. If you navigate to the collections tab, you'll find tons of gear, artifacts, mounts, companions, and even fashion that you can collect. Down on the bottom left, as you see here, we can gather a total collection score and a total companion score for some reason. Don't ask me what the reason is, because there isn't one. You gather these points for nothing other than bragging rights, I guess. You literally get nothing. So I think they should add milestones you have to reach in points. Like for example, 1,000, 2,000, or 6,000, or even 10,000 points, and for each goal you achieve, get a reward. Could start off small, like 20 preservation words for example, and get bigger the more points you gather. Like a legendary mount. They can even create a collection store or NPC that you can exchange your collection points for rewards. It's a great way to incentivize people to chase after points to get rewards, and make use of the points that are just sitting there doing nothing.
Etc.
8. Add bonuses to titles. Titles we gather over time, in my opinion, should have an extra function, besides looking pretty under your character name. You can add tiny bonuses like 1% extra healing, or 1% defense, or 1% forte, for example. Even a straight up stat like 100 accuracy. It doesn't have to be much. Just enough to incentivize players to chase titles down. People like to min-max. They can even swap them out to different titles depending on the bonuses they provide and the content they are running. In my opinion, it would just be a really fun way to make them useful.
Yesterday, you said tomorrow.
9. Again, something about titles. How about let us create our own? Obviously, the option to create your own title would have to have some sort of profanity filter, because we are humans, and as humans we tend to be asshats more often than not. But having the ability to create your own title would be an interesting way to let the players feel more immersed into their own characters. I'd rather see someone with a creative title that makes me laugh, rather than seeing the I am too hot to handle title one more time.
It's so hot. Say that again.
10. See my mail? How about you add a delete all mail button for the love of all you hold dear in your heart? I'm so done clicking each individual mail one by one to delete them all. You can just simply add checkboxes like Gmail has, where you decide which incoming mail you want to keep or delete. It is far from rocket science, I promise you, and the player base would be very thankful. And so would Elon Musk.
You know what? Is that actually happened? Of course it happened. I think this is
11. Add a shared chest in the workshop where you can drop ingredients from your tunes to be used by another tune on your account, instead of sending ingredients 5 stack by 5 stack by in-game mail. It would simply be much easier to have that shared chest. If I want to send what my character walks into murder produced as ingredients and use it on another tune, I wouldn't have to mail it to myself. Such an unneeded waste of time, don't you think? 12. Sliders. Add sliders on everything you can buy from all those NPCs in game. Why am I forced to click and enter, hold down enter, and then click, click, click away to buy something more times than once? Like piñatas during the Summerfest, for example. Just add sliders. I'm sure it wouldn't be that difficult to implement. Stop torturing my fingers. 13. Add a stats page that you can navigate to and check how many times you've completed certain dungeons, trials, or skirmishes. Maybe even heroics too. We had something like that or still have it now in a way. Press J, go to your achievements tab. Uncheck show earn and check show available. Then, if you scroll down, you'll see right here. Give me a second, let me zoom in. Then, as you see here, the Dungeon Delver 3 to be cleared. I need to complete 12 adventure zones or whatever to get the Dungeon Delver title. And below it, another one that also counts how many you completed or how many you need to complete to get the Dungeon Master title. If I scroll down, like here on the Events tab, there are more counters. So I know for a fact that they can add counters to the game that can be applied to the previous point I made about getting gear by completing content a certain number of times. So they can definitely implement that for how many total dungeons you have completed as well. The system is already in place. They just have to retrofit it to serve a different purpose. Granted, it's mostly just for statistical purposes, but it would be interesting to add so people can compare completions and grind. 14. More transmutes. Maybe add more transmutes to the Zen store and in-game. Customizable transmutes can also be a thing, where you can make your own design or at the very least create your own logo, symbol, or icon that you could add to your gear. Or maybe even be able to write something on your gear to make it unique. It will be one of a kind because you created the design or logo. For example, imagine a guild designed logo where all guild members need to wear it, or flex it. Plus, adding new transmutes to the Zen store usually isn't an issue for the player base. Fashion is the true endgame in all games anyways. People would gladly pay for fashion. As far as designs go, I doubt that can ever be a thing. But I know I'd like that. And you probably would too. 15. Add a sell all function for items that are exactly the same and don't stack. For example, you have tons of items in your inventory that are exactly the same, i.e. you're crafting leather masks. You have 100 of them in your inventory, but sadly they do not stack. So they can add the function where you can just right click on one of them at the vendor and pick the sell all option. Then it sells all your leather masks from your inventory all at once, on its own. You wouldn't have to add all those items one by one just to sell them. That's just super annoying. 16. Add world bosses who spawn randomly in any location and in any zone, with an in-game notification when they do spawn. They should be random spawns to catch everybody by surprise. Once the notification pops, everybody has to scramble to find him, and then kill him for rewards. But the rewards need to be worth it, like really worth it and updated constantly. Or else, what is the point of doing a world boss if the rewards are trash? 17. Add more freaking dragons. I mean lots of them. Neverwinter lacks dragons in general. Why not make them hover around like they do in the Stronghold in different zones? You know, just so we can look at them. Yeah, remember the 4 Stronghold dragons? Yeah, neither do I. Even add heroics or world boss fights with just us fighting dragons. I'm done fighting apes and I'm done fighting witches. I want to fight dragons. More dragons. I know Echoes of Prophecy is coming, which will have more dragons, but still we need more dragons. The safe word is more. Always more. 18. Add player housing. I think that would be an awesome addition, to have your own home in game where you can farm, craft and gather, or even earn various items to decorate your home with. You can let people visit. You can even roleplay in them. Wink wink, nudge nudge. You can even extend the player housing to competitions or even events, so people can earn prizes for having the best looking homes. You know, incentives, man, incentives. I feel like I don't repeat that enough. Incentives.
Incentives, incentives, incentives.
Is this one of those moments where if I repeat something often enough it comes true type of situation? I wish. 19. Add a page which shows every title available in the game and how to get said title. For example, let's say there's 1,000 titles in the game. Show them all one by one in a list and a small explanation below saying how to achieve that title and what you need to do. I have been playing for 9 years and still don't know where all the titles come from. And a lot of them are not obtainable anymore. They already have titles in the achievement page, but they are randomly scattered in all of these sections and hard to find. Plus, like I said, most of them are outdated and tons of new titles are missing. I don't even think Cryptic themselves and the devs know this exists, or if they do, they surely forgot about it. So yeah, we need a separate page for titles, and an alphabetical order too, please. Don't hurt my eyes. 20. Switching skins for companions. Let us be able to use any skin on any companion. Let us decide what our companion looks like. I mean, what if I don't like how the Cold Iron Warrior looks like at all? I'm the one that has to look at it. Let me be able to customize it as I see fit. Please and thank you. 21. Add more character customizations in the character selection screens. I mean, come on, this stuff is all so outdated and boring. Give us more options. More hairstyles, more eyebrows. Hell, even add unibrows for all I care. Also, you can add different facial expressions and more. As it is in the moment, it's super bland and boring. For me, character creation screens should keep you there for hours. That's what I call fun. If they are not, then you are definitely doing it wrong. 22. Add attendance rewards and reward players with different gifts every day, just like they do in Black Desert Online. You can even have returning player rewards that are unique only to players who haven't played in a month or more, just like they do, like I said, in Black Desert Online. Granted, it doesn't need to function exactly like Black Desert Online, but it can be as simple as a calendar of the month and prizes that correspond to each day. And that's it. You miss a day and you miss the reward for that day. It will also incentivize some players to return and possibly play just because of that incentive. They could get curious even though they haven't played in months or possibly years, and presto, you gained yourself a new player, and the community grows. I mean, that is our goal, isn't it? To grow? Get your mind out of the gutter. 23. Add mini-games with prizes. Yeah, add some mini-games that you can access 2-3 times a day. It could be anything. Just let us have random mini-games we can access and have a chance at some random loot. Could be prize rewards or companion tokens, etc. Just something to break the monotony and be fun all at once. 24. Add more events to Neverwinter. Not just Summerfest and Winterfest, which seem to be the ones taking up all the glory, even though if you ask me, they need a major overhaul, rework, and upgrade. But maybe add some new ones to keep people busy and interested. 25. Add a vanity pet store in the game with every vanity pet that exists in the game. And whenever you add new vanity pets, make sure to update it accordingly. Vanity pets are cool and fun, even though they serve only an aesthetic purpose. Doesn't matter. You can even create a form of vanity pet currency, and we can use that currency to purchase vanity pets. You can even add them to the trade bar store. Just add away so we can get them in one spot. So that was my list of 25 things Neverwinter could add to the game. But I know there are tons more that eluded me or I didn't think of. So if you have any cool ideas for additions to Neverwinter, let me know in the comments. And I could be able to make a second video if I gather enough ideas. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to sub to get notified of all my shit. Galactic here. Peace out. Stay safe.